All right, Ultimate Hoops Nation. I'm Aaron Wimsett. I'm here with Jason Briggs. This is I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Wonderful.
This is This Week in Rec, Season 1. Or fall season, Week 1. So let's start off by getting the business out of the way. Jerseys. So as all of you should know, New Jersey rule implemented for this season. We were selling jerseys last night and tonight. We had 1 week, which was this week, for you guys to get everything under control. I know the Titans were ordering jerseys and everything, so we give you 1 week. Jersey tax will be enforced next week. The rule is you either have to have an official Ultimate Hoops jersey or you have to have matching team jerseys. Now you can have 5 people with matching team jerseys and 2 with an official Ultimate Hoops jersey. If you have 3 with team jerseys, 1 guy with an oddball Cub Foods jersey, and 1 with a UH jersey, the 1 guy with the Cubs Foods jersey is going to get teed up.
What about Brothers Keepers jerseys? Are those allowed?
That's a technical too.
Okay, good.
Good question though. Good question.
That's for you, Sonny.
So next week, those will be enforced. Second thing we'll talk about, and most of you in the league know about this, but to play in rec, your basketball career can't extend beyond high school.
Correct.
Or you have to be 40 if you played in the NBA, played college, played overseas, whatever. So we had a new team sign up. They had a legal team or a legal player on their team. Yep. They went to St. Louis Park. And then the Crusaders also had an illegal player on their team before the season started.
Not last night, so Red Devils, your loss is still a loss.
Yes, true. Just kind of talk about, how serious the league takes that, and the players committee looking players up if they haven't played before.
People care about this league a lot and care about the purity of the league. And I know Izzy is a known proponent of let's let whoever play, and I know there is a few people like that, but the defining rule of UH Rec is no playing experience past high school. Like that is the one rule that separates open from rec, and it is a serious rule, and people do care. And I think there were people, including myself, trying to go out of our way to start the season to find these players ahead of time, so we didn't have someone come up after the Crusaders are 2-0 and say, hey man, that's 6'10" dude, he played at this college, he played at this college, he played at this college. So it's a very serious thing. We're trying to clean it up early. We can't promise that it'll always be this way, that these rules will always be in place, but they are in place now and they will be enforced.
All right, so let's get to yesterday's games. We'll start there and then we'll move to here. So we had a few good games, bunch of new look teams last night. The Broncos and Squires, new look Broncos team. They got rid of Adam, Xavier, and Jake. And
the Broncos lost the club.
Yeah. And they added John Price. John Price is back, and Dan Whiteside, who I believe played with them before too.
Both have actually been Broncos before, so they did bring a few of the regulars back into the rotation. I don't know if they're staying at 7. They've gone up to 9.
That might be smart for them.
It might be smart, yeah. It'll probably force Morris to shoot a little more, which is be good for everybody. So
it's a close game. They played the Squires, who got to the Final Four last year. I actually thought it was their season last year after they beat the Rebels.
I did too.
Broncos lose by 3. Game kind of came down to free throws at the end. Kind of talk about that game.
Yeah, Squires were making their free throws. They made the mistake of fouling Ben Martanzik, who kind of put the game away. Squires were up by, they had a few stretches where they're up by double digits, and the Broncos kept clawing back. Calvin Bella, who I give crap to for being a turnover machine sometimes, was insanely good on offense yesterday. Hitting threes, hitting some tough finishes, finding some guys. He played a really good game, kept the Broncos in it, but in the end, it wasn't enough.
So the Goodfellas, new team in the league.
The paper champion Goodfellas.
They faced off against them, and they looked good for probably about the first 30 minutes of the game. I think they were up by 15,
16, 19. I've heard different accounts.
But they ended up losing by 10 to them. Them really turned it on. Kind of talk about that game.
Well, Goodfellas were actually down at the half. Kavarian hit almost a half-court shot, I think to pull within 2 or maybe pull within 1 at halftime. And they really turned it on to start the second half and kind of showed the potential that team has to really make a run, even against a good team like them, who's a pretty solid defensive team. But something happened. I think the intensity kind of got washed away, and I don't think the 3 point guards are used to playing with each other yet, because they do have 3 little guards in the court. And so them zone and just ability to know what all their players are doing, they've got chemistry after this long, just kind of overwhelmed them. And they were hitting shots. They were doing what they needed to do, and the Goodfellas went cold.
Yeah, I think the Goodfellas will figure it out, and they'll be fine.
The rumor is Twan put that team together.
Really?
Yeah.
So they're gonna add him week 3.
That was my guess. The over/under is on week 2.5 on when Twan shows up. So I don't know if Big Smash winning the championship just made it impossible for him to leave that team. So he's just sitting out. This is all speculation. I haven't talked to Twan. I'm not. I'm just spitballing here. But that's my guess is that Big Smash will add a guy and get their 8th, and then Twan will come sneaking in the door and play with the Goodfellas. Because I'm pretty sure he put that whole roster together. And then for him not to play for either team is kind of... If he's got to rest the body, he's got to rest the body, but might be a guilty conscience.
So, kind of something we're not used to seeing. The Red Devils got beat by the Crusaders by 20. Opening night, the Red Devils lose by 20.
The old Devils, we're calling them this season.
So the Red Devils were Iron 5. Yep. They were without Paul Olson and Trey. Trey's got the knee injury.
Yeah, and then I think Andre Oker's on the team too. He was gone as well. So kind of the ball handlers were gone.
Yep. And Callahan added Sonny last minute.
Crusaders. Yeah, added Sonny.
Added Sonny last minute.
But pretty much the same team, except I didn't see Chris. I'm going to screw up his last name. Shaban. Yeah, he was a really good player for them. Yeah. So if he's on the team, they're going to be really, really improved this season. Because Sonny wouldn't pretend that he's in shape right now because he's not, but man can still stroke it.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
So I think the Red Devils will have a tough time. Trey is obviously out with the ACL. I think Jordan is still out with his ACL, and I don't think Jeff Stevens is playing. So it's going to put a lot of offensive pressure on Oker, on Hohenstein, and on Luke. So yeah, it's going to be a lot more perimeter oriented and not as feed the big guy. Yeah, he's not there.
So Big Smash Gorillas. Gorillas, I think they came out, played a tough team, and they actually looked pretty good. Yeah. Gorillas added Ratty and Noe. Big Smash lost Juan for now.
Yep.
Added Hemrick, Aaron Daniels, and Zhao Li. Kind of talk about how different the teams are going to look with those additions, and then what you thought on the game.
Different dynamic on that team. Big Smash was really fitting of their name last season. They were big. Glenn, Mike, Twan, Ryan Pesci is tall guy, good shot blocker, very underrated shot blocker. He's gone. Twan's gone, and Arsenio's gone. And Arsenio's a big guard. So some of the size of Big Smash is gone now, replaced by Devin, he's lanky, but he's not a big guy, and Zhao's obviously not a big guy, and Aaron Daniels is tall, but he's got to take the spot of 2 or 3 bigger guys. So they're going to be a lot more perimeter oriented this season. We'll see how they do. They like to run, and having Glenn as your starting center is going to be a dangerous thing for the opposition because he's going to be too quick for a lot of big guys. But I think they're going to be missing some of that size because it really helped on defense.
The Gorillas lose Chase, add Ratty.
Yeah, they thought they had too much defense last season, so they added a little more.
Do you think that'll, in the end, work out better for him?
I don't know. Both Ratty and Helmy are at this stage kind of perimeter-oriented big guys. So we'll see. I mean, they're both smart players, so I don't doubt they can play together, but it's not ideal. I think Chase and Helmy probably fit a little bit better, but you added, an MVP candidate every season like Ratty. It's not like you're doing a bad thing. And with Bryant's back problems, adding a point guard, another dribbler like Noe is only going to help that team.
So on to tonight. We had 4 games.
All of them good. No? All right. Avengers Kudas blowout. Club UNO blowout. UNO only had 5 guys, so I know they have at least Eric Bond's coming back, but I think they got Trevor and maybe another guy too coming back.
I think he was seeing his family or something. So.
Terrible excuse. And then Players Club was just lackadaisical tonight. Just didn't have it. Fob and their old man moved the ball. Whiskas was good except for the free throw line. But yeah, their ball movement was just too much.
So the good game of the night, Killer Bees, Callahan, goes into overtime. Killer Bees win by 1. Overtime, Hoyle went to the free throw line.
Yeah, up 1. Hoyle goes to the line for 2, makes the first, misses the second. Andre Gray gets the board, fouled by Goody with about 5 seconds left, and Dre very clutch goes and hits them both. Then inbounds play. I think there's like 4.5 seconds left at that point. I think that's what it was. Goody makes this perfect high arcing lob to Kavarian. Kavarian catches it about half court and throws a pass to Nate Moore under the hoop, just a little bit too high. Goes out of bounds. 2.5 seconds left. Ball's inbounded to Andre Gray. Kind of weaves around and takes a shot, probably 25, 30 feet out, and gets fouled by Kevin Chase. And Kevin he's still somewhere stewing right now about the call. It's tough. You don't like them blowing the whistle at that point. My strategy has always been a foul is a foul is a foul, no matter what time of the game. But I know a lot of people disagree and say I didn't think he was straight up, and he was just too close. If he makes that ridiculous runner, I mean, it just wasn't in the cards. That's the way I look at it. So hands straight up and just kind of slide out of the way. But I think Kev got a little. His instincts are get on the guy, and I think he was kind of half guarding him, half trying to stay away, and got called for the foul. So he'll disagree, say it was either all ball, and I mean, dude, heat of the moment. I wasn't on the court. I was just a observer on the sideline, but it was he put himself in the position to commit a foul, and that's it bit him.
So that's it for this week. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, Jay Moore, really disappointed. If the Celtics 2 seasons ago is our lasting memory of that franchise, it's going to be sad. This was, to borrow a Tommy Boy reference, he was the guy who could sell the ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves. But he can't get his guys to play. I mean, no Marcus, no Sams. This league's better with him here. All week long, I was really looking forward to seeing them tonight. And to find out 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago that they're done and I've got an 8 o'clock game against someone else when it was technically my 3rd opponent of the week, it was disheartening. So, Jay Moore, hopefully this is not the last we've seen of you. I mean, sure, you borrow Mark Rosen's shtick from 7 years ago and just beat it into the ground, but we still love you and we'd like to see you back. Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.